Hey, so I remember this offseason, there was a video of you, kind of going to the inner city of South Florida and giving somebody a T-shirt off your back.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to kind of get the whole story behind that experience. And I've heard that you're such a great guy behind the scenes, that you do a lot for the community. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so that day in particular, me and a couple of my teammates, and then also there was a couple of basketball players there, a couple of the women's soccer players, and so we all got together and we were doing some community service at a local high school in the Coconut Grove area, and so we were doing basically like a food drive, and so we were just kind of getting to-go plates ready, and then we went out there, and we got out there and we were in Overtown, I think, and there was just dozens and dozens of people out on the street. And so we give out the food, and I'm just, sitting there, and just like a feeling kind of just came over me and just overwhelmed me. And like I had all this gear in my trunk just from, us football players get incredible amount of gear. So I just, kind of started divvying it out and giving the people what they needed. So that was a great experience, just being able to kind of use the platform I have and the position that I'm in, to give back, and especially coming out to a new city and being able to do that. I know that meant a lot to some of the Miami natives and stuff. So it was definitely a cool opportunity.
Thanks, Jaelan.
Jaelan, next we're going to go to Ruthie Polinsky at WTVJ. Ruthie, if you had a question for Jaelan.
Hi, Jaelan. Thanks for doing this. I'm sure today was kind of scary and weird, like it is for the rest of us. But I'm wondering if you have any friends that are not going to get to play college football in the fall, and what their kind of reaction is, and how you're kind of handling this mental game here.
Yeah, I mean, sadly enough, I do have a couple of friends, both back at UCLA, and then two friends who had transferred from UCLA and are in, I think, the MAC, or the Mountain West Conference, and so their seasons are also canceled. And I just feel bad for them, because two of them in particular, this is their 5th year, and so if nothing happens after this, then they're kind of screwed. But for me, I think that I just try to focus on what's ahead of me. And just kind of take it day by day. I mean, and in these times and in this world, it's so easy to get caught up in what's going on outside of where you are, that a lot of people aren't present. And really, if you just focus on what you can control, and just like I said, take it day by day, I think that's really the only way that we've kind of been able to manage it. And I think that it's great that we've been able to come together, and that Coach Diaz and President Frank have been able to, have all these protocols where we're safe in here, and basically, saying that, it's kind of a distraction being here, being able to practice, being here all day. You know how busy we are during fall camp. So yeah, like I said, just kind of trying to keep a tunnel vision and just focus on what's ahead.
Great. Jaelan, next up, we're going to go to Matt Shodell at Canesport. Matt, if you had a question for Jaelan.
Yes, I do. Hey, Jaelan. So, obviously Greg Rousseau's opting out, and I guess Coach Stroud said that you're up to 270, you run like a safety. He said you're in the 99th percentile of any player who's ever coached in terms of physical attributes. So, obviously you've made some really big strides, coming off the injury and stuff. Can you sort of just talk about how hard it was to get to this point, and if you feel like you're at 100% now, if there's still more where you have to go in terms of, you're back to sort of like really feeling like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a journey. I mean, I've been in college since 2017, January. I graduated early, came in as a 17-year-old. And, a lot of things have happened that have been good. A lot of things that have happened that have been bad. And just to be able to, 2 years ago, or a year ago, really, when I was back in LA, had, stopped playing football at UCLA, wasn't committed anywhere. I never thought that I would have the opportunity to be out here, playing in Miami, and then also just being in the best physical shape of my life. And I think that's, a nod to Coach Feely and what he's done with me. And, to answer your question on, if I think this is it, that's, we can always improve. So, I mean, I definitely feel great. And, I'm just at this point just trying to stay healthy and trying to be the best version of myself that I can be.
Great. Jaelan, next up, we're going to go to Susan Miller-Degnan of the Miami Herald. Susan, if you had a question for Jaelan.
Hey, Jaelan, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. How did you get your body to transform like that? And I guess a relatively short time. What were you in spring? Were you 220 or no?
Oh, wow. I mean, when I came out originally in the fall of 2019, so basically a year ago right now, I was 225. Yeah, so lightest I've ever been since high school. Obviously, I played in high school at like 245, 250 at my heaviest. And so, a year of not being in the weight room would definitely make your muscles atrophy a little bit. But, the good thing is I already have a big framework. So putting on the weight, I mean, obviously it was a challenge. It took, a lot of hard work, and my diet is crazy. I have to eat around 260 grams of protein a day just to kind of maintain what I got going on. And so it was just a mixture of, like I said, hard work with Coach Feely, being able, when I first came in, I wasn't cleared to work out during fall camp. So I was literally every single day working out for 2 hours during practice. And so I think that time definitely was what I needed to just let my body kind of naturally get back. Because it's also, if you gain too much weight too quickly, then you can kind of deal with injuries and you might be slower. But luckily, I've been able to kind of progress naturally from about a year ago now to where I am.
Awesome. Jaelan, we're going to go to David Ferones of the Sun Sentinel. David, if you had a question for Jaelan.
Hey, Jaelan, I think we saw kind of your reaction right away when Greg Rousseau decided he's opting out, that, you're really confident that you want to step up for this team. I want to know, just that level of confidence that you can produce. And then also you ended up taking his number. I know it's also your old number 15, but, just the symbolism there, how much do you hope to uphold that, the productivity that came from that number on defense?
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to get to know Greg and watch his hard work and watch how he kind of carries himself out in that field. And I have nothing but highest praises and most respect for Greg. But for me personally, I don't even think it was necessarily like I'm not trying to fill his shoes. I'm not trying to be the next Greg Rousseau. Like I said, 15, it was his number, but that was also my number since I was 7 years old. So I think my focus right now isn't getting caught up in, oh, am I going to be the next Greg, or am I going to fill these shoes? It's just, coming in and just like I said, doing everything I can to stay focused and to just do the best that I can. And, I kind of think the reaction like that was just kind of to reassure, some of the Canes fans, some of the people like, look, Greg might be gone, but you don't have anything to worry about.
Awesome. Jaelan, last but not least, we have David Lake at 24/7 Sports. David, if you had a question for Jaelan.
Yeah, Jaelan, wanted to ask you, obviously you were the #1 overall recruit in the country coming out of high school. Do you feel like any sense of having a chip on your shoulder this season to kind of prove that ranking right, so to speak? And then, also you touched on a little bit, your period where you kind of retired from football after UCLA. Did transferring to Miami kind of rekindle your love of the game in any way? And if so, how did it do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer the second question first. It's funny because I was just talking to Coach Stroud about this about a week ago. But, I was telling him that back when I was at UCLA, it got to a point where, after all the injuries and, coaching change and everything, like I kind of got to the point where I was like, last guy in, first guy out, like wasn't really investing in football. I kind of was focusing on things outside of football, trying to figure out my passions outside of football. Like just wouldn't think about football at all outside of football. But I was telling Coach Stroud that I found myself daydreaming literally every single day when I'm taking showers, when I'm laying in bed. Like I daydream of making plays. Football is just in my head 24/7. I'm watching film like a fanatic. And so it's been, like I said, a blessing. And it's hard to even fathom, just because, like I said, 2 years ago, I never thought that I would have been in this position again. And so I think that it's given me a fresh perspective. And definitely kind of rekindle my passion and my hunger also. And to answer your first question about having a chip on my shoulder, I don't think it's necessarily about the 5-star ranking, because I'm kind of far removed from high school at this point. Like, obviously, it's still a thing. I was, a 5-star. But, at this point, it's just about coming in. And I think that I already earned my teammates' respect by coming in and just working my butt off every single day, for a year. And so that was the most important thing to me is, in terms of living up to my hype. I think a lot of players can think that, former 5-stars and transfer people can be kind of entitled. And so I made sure that I came in and I was, everything but entitled. I just came in and kept my head down and, worked. So. I think that I do have a chip on my shoulder, but it's just, great motivation. I can't wait to get out on my field for sure.
Jaelan, thanks for spending a few minutes with us tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon. Good luck the rest of camp.
Thank you very much. You guys stay safe.
Thank you.